Hey guys, what is up? Today I come to you with my review of Hatsukoi Monster, aka First Love Monster, and we all know this is the third episode. So for any anime, the third episode is that do or die or that judgment episode. So that determines whether you're going to stick with the series to the very end, drop the series because you see it going nowhere with this storyline or characters, or you're going to put it on hold and continue on with a different type of series and pick this one up back up later. Now I'll tell you guys close to the ending of my review what I'm going to do with this entire series. Now this is the first date episode, so Kaho and Kanade are going on their first date since they decide to go out in episode 1, the falling in love at first sight, and then finding out that Kanade is a fifth grader in elementary school was something that was totally bizarre and no one would have expected it. But she decided to go with the flow, and she put herself in this predicament where it's going to be very hard for her to come out. But we see as each episode is going by, you can see her falling in love more and more with Kanade. But with Kanade now, we don't know for sure if it's like he's being, serious about it. I mean, yes, he cares for females based on his teachings from his mother, but is he falling in love with Kaho like Kaho is with him? That's up to how they're going to do with each episode and how they're going to write it, how well written they're going to be able to write it out for the entirety of it. Now, it's the first date, and you expect, okay, even though they're not a normal couple, do you expect them to do normal couple things like walk in the park, or they go to the amusement park, or they go to some restaurant? Kaho, she fantasizes that either Kanade is playing the harp for her and they're just like princess and prince, or they're in the park and they're walking around and admiring the scenery, and they're in a little boat on the lake watching swans and birds on there. You would have thought, okay, she's imagining all these things and possibly it may be happening, but knowing that Kanade is a fifth grader, he's not thinking of any of those things. He's thinking like a kid. So his ideal date is going to the park and playing in the sand pit, and then going to a store to bug the old lady that's behind the counter, and he's encountering his friends there who decides to play their own version of volleyball. And each time he gets distracted, he ends up remembering that he's on his mission, or in other words, the date, and he has to try to make Kaho happy by the end of the day. Now, the one thing that was seemed more normal about their date was the part where they were sharing the same type of food. That was possibly the most normal thing, and something that I did not expect by the end of their date was usually at the end of any first date, usually kiss your date and then you go home and end the rest of the day. You would have thought he would have got the kiss on the cheek, him being just younger than Kaho, but instead he leans in, he goes in for the killer, and he kisses Kaho, and he says, "Thank you for the date," and he goes back in, and this causes Kaho to, thinking of wild things and start blushing all over the place. And then we find out that Shinohara, the boy with his bangs over his face, he actually caught them kissing. Now, possibly it wasn't obvious since the first episode, them always calling him a virgin or anything, but we come for clarifications in this episode that Shinohara indeed has feelings for Kaho, and he lost to a better looking younger kid than himself, and we also got to see how he actually looked, and it contrasts with how old he is. He has a baby face compared to his actual biological age. Now at this point, I'm not fazed by any of the weird stuff that happens in this episode, in this series. It's just sometimes it gets out of proportion, especially with the kids talking about balls and everything. It's just like, when I was in fifth grade, we weren't doing that. But either way, it was a pretty fun episode to watch, especially seeing their date and how it wasn't normal until possibly the very end of it. So now that she got her first kiss, and she's going to fall deeper in love with Kanade, it's just a question, is Kanade going to end up having the same amount of feelings, or is this just another part of him being a kid, and this is part of his imagination, and him just playing around and having someone just to call a girlfriend? So, that being said, how I feel, what I'm going to do with this series is, I'm planning to continue watching, because it's a fun watch. It's like a romantic gimmick, and it's something that you don't usually see. Okay, it's the ground base of it is pretty simple, but just the fact that the characters are quite different than from the normal type of romance shoujo series that you usually watch or read is enough to interest me to continue with it until, you know, the final episode premieres. So I'm sticking with Hatsukoi Monster till the very end. Do tell me in the comment section below if you guys are planning to stick with it or put it on hold or completely drop the series after, you know, the 3rd episode mark. Possibly some of you are waiting till the 4th or 5th episode to determine whether you're going to stick with it. That's totally fine. That's all up to your choice. The links are in the description box, so you guys can go check that out. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye!